Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
I have a donut. Do you want a toast?
Sure. Let's donut toast.
Toast?
Toast.
Shannon?
In spirit, I'm with you.
You're not having a donut? I have
ate
to
too
take
much
a
last
bite
night.
because I'm hungry. So, we're on Talk Law Radio,
Yes, sir.
having donuts today.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get Lexi in the shot.
Yeah, that'd be
because,
so cool.
She had her beauty appointment yesterday. Come here, Lexi. Come here. Good girl.
Oh, you're so pretty.
With her pink bows and
She's
her
sniffing
pink-
that donut.
Oh, yeah. No donut for you.
She can't have donuts.
No,
I mean, not even a little piece.
No way. That's bad for them.
Don't call me wait. For reals though, she can't have like a little
For
treat.
real, yeah. No, I have a whole bag of dog treats that she can have. But she doesn't eat people food.
Because yeah.
Is it the same as chocolate?
Well, no,
Or is-
it's just bad for them. And plus, it causes them to beg. And I don't like beggars.
Well,
So you were telling me about your dog.
yeah, my chiquitín, my chiquitona, my chiquitiki bum bum.
Do you ever take her to the beauty shop?
Yeah, I do. You can't really tell with her for some reason. She doesn't have those kind of ears that you can put little bows on. But they give her a little bandana and she smells really good and they cut her nails and
Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So we gotta get Juan on board with this.
With a pet.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I mean, I changed over to hybrid schedule, so that could probably work.
Right.
But-
He's going to work from home a couple of days a week.
You're gonna start with maybe a plant, like a
I
house
could,
plant.
and then move to a fish, and then eventually a shark. No, it's a good idea. I'll consider it.
Yeah. Plants are good.
They bring a lot of joy, the pets. I can't. So when you go home at the end of the day, there's nobody there. Like, hey, so happy to see you. Hi. Oh,
Not really. I mean, my girlfriend gets home after me, so not even. So, yeah, I mean, I really need to get a dog. She actually wants a cat, so
Well, cats can stay home alone. They have litter box for that.
yes, I know, but I'm not too much of a cat person, to be honest. It's to me, like just watching a TV show or anything, you're at home, you're on the couch, and you're just like with your pet.
yeah.
That's the moment, to me at least. But with the cat, it just doesn't happen. They're so independent.
Well, you have cats. Are they?
They're super loving. I mean, they kind of seem like dogs. I don't know if I have weird cats. Did you have pets growing up?
I did, yes. And my mom, just growing up, was like, I don't want dogs near the house, never, ever. And then my dad and I were looking for like a dog for some reason. We were just like really into it. And then we came home with I think it was a golden lab. And it was beautiful until he just ran away. And then my mom was like, again, no dogs ever here again. But in the meantime, she was loving him.
Where was your mom when the dog disappeared?
Good question. Good question.
Start some stuff right here.
Yeah.
You should start incriminating her. No.
Was she suspiciously away from the house?
I think she was just at her room or something. And
Well, speaking of where was your mom, I started reading this fictional book, which is new to me. I don't usually read fiction.
Yeah.
But it's part of my emotional intelligence training to sort of see how the characters feel about things. And one of the scenarios is the husband-father disappeared. And then after, on mom's last words were, Dad didn't disappear. And then she died of old age. And so the kids are trying to figure that out. But I'll have to let you and the audience know what happens in the end. I just started the book.
So what are you thinking when she said that?
I don't know. It's a good plot.
Yeah.
It's a catching plot. Or probably you presented it so well. I really don't know. Just
Yeah.
That he
lot of
abandoned
questions.
them, or that it was
Well,
nefarious? or?
he left a note to the wife that said, I forget her name. Lori, I'm so sorry, love, John. And then that was it. They saw his truck. The police investigated, and there was camera footage at the gas station and at the toll in another state. But then they found his truck in a totally different state. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah. Are you feeling the emotions of the characters? How that would feel to have that suspense?
There's 3 children. One of them is a successful person living in California. One of them is a drug addict, and one of them worked at the factory in the hometown. And so there's lots of dynamics between them in play, which is like most families. Juan, you probably remember some of our probate cases where
yes.
the siblings bicker and fight or file lawsuits against each other.
Can I take a drink?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
And it's interesting because you mentioned probate cases, and you have kind of like an idea of what the family could be like just by knowing this one child. But you're right, everyone's so different. They have their own personalities. They
are.
tend to feel different things.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a sister. She's 4 years older than me.
And where does she live?
In Laredo. Yeah. We used to live together here.
Oh, that's right.
She's a high school teacher.
When y'all were going to school at UTSA.
Yes. Yeah, when I moved over here, she was finishing her last semester. And then when she graduated, she started teaching at Roosevelt High School. And then she got offered an opportunity to work in Laredo.
So is San Antonio like, quote unquote, the big city?
For people in Laredo, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, I grew up in a small town. Alamogordo had about 40,000 people.
Okay.
And I went to the big city in Lubbock, Texas,
Okay.
which had about 100,000 people
Okay.
at that time.
Well, I mean, it's a different magnitude, I guess.
Yeah, when I came to San Antonio, I was lost constantly because of all the traffic and the
Right.
I-35 and I-10, and I-10 says east and west, but really it goes
up, right?
and so I didn't understand how to get home from downtown. I ended up at some Kentucky Fried Chicken one time, and I said, do you know where Leon Valley is? And of course they didn't speak any English in that part of the town. And so they said no, and I just had to keep driving. Try somewhere else.
Yeah.
Shannon, you're silent. What?
I'm fascinated. This is you in San Antonio back in the day.
Well, back in the olden
Wow.
days, we didn't have GPS.
Right,
And
right.
so I had to
yeah.
print out all these MapQuest papers.
Right. And then you would stop at a gas station, and it was kind of the gas station's job to give you directions. Because can you imagine a world without GPS? Is this,
Well, I lived it.
but for
lived
one.
it. I mean, probably I did.
How?
At some point.
Sometime.
I wasn't driving by then, but I do remember my parents using like the big maps to
Yeah.
like whenever we went to family trips.
I had to help my dad. We were like in Los Angeles or something, and I'm a child, and he's asking me to be the navigator.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There was just one time I said, "Dad, I think that there's a turn coming up, and you have to decide
Yeah.
which way to go." And of course,
Wow.
I didn't know which way to go. And he said, "Well, how do you know that there's a turn coming up?" And I said, "Well, it says junction." And I think that means you have to decide.
Grew up quick.
I did. Yeah, for more than one reason.
Yeah.
But
I would really like to hear more about your thoughts on San Antonio when you landed here.
yeah.
What year was that?
2006.
Dang, that world doesn't exist anymore.
Right. 18 years ago, I think.
Well, did you have some
No,
thoughts?
2003.
People were
That's when
different.
we started, 2003.
So when you were where you came from, you wouldn't walk into a corner store and everyone speaks Spanish and they just look at you like you're a strange bug.
That happened to me in El Paso quite a bit because I would get lost there also.
That happens in Laredo as well. You go to Whataburger, and sometimes, depending on where you are in the city, it's a city, I guess. People will
All
answer to you in
Spanish.
Spanish.
Well, last Saturday, I was in Bernie with Stetson, and we were meeting Daniel to listen to bluegrass at some historic place. And we stopped at Mary's. Have you ever had Mary's Tacos in Bernie?
No, I haven't.
It's phenomenal. And they have like this Ford assembly line that was so efficient. That line was out the door, and we had our taco in 5 minutes.
Oh.
It was really fast. I mean, there's like one person that's assigned to beans, one person that's assigned to eggs, and there was like maybe 30 workers there. So you pay for your taco, and somehow the credit card machine takes your name and gives it to the line staff. And
Okay.
so that's how they know what your name is. There's no real conversation that goes on. And it seemed like that every time they called a name, it sounded like Todd.
Yeah.
And so I kept going up to the counter to get my stuff.
Right.
And there was this one thing, it was like a bowl. And I said, this
Maud.
is not
Order for Maud.
this is not what I ordered. And so
Raj.
then I try and take it back to the people that are passing out the orders.
Yeah.
Well, they don't speak English.
Right.
And so I just left it there
Yeah.
and waited for them to call another
They're
Todd.
on a radio show right now. Y entonces este hombre siempre estaba intentando de devolver la comida. No.
He kept coming up to the counter. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, pretty much.
So anyway, I got my taco.
And he had this dog with him.
Sadly, she didn't get to come. But we ate our tacos. I hate to give a business a shout out without compensation, but it was very good.
Yeah.
You should go there.
Yeah, we should all go.
Take the family and
Should we invite Marquito? I don't know.
who's that? Oh, Mark. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, if I could get to Bernie and back here before a show, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
Bring him a Mary's taco.
Yeah.
I
Mark
think
deserves it.
they're famous.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
Surprised you haven't been there.
Yeah, I feel like this has to happen. This should happen.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So you posted a video from Bill Miller on your Instagram. I wanted to ask you, what part of
Bill
the
Miller.
city are you healing this week with your Instagram? Shannon's the Mr. Rogers of San Antonio, and so she has to be teaching us some lesson about love or humanity or
Aw,
acceptance.
what a kind thing to say. Yeah, I guess self-acceptance was the lesson that morning because I left the house with my workout clothes on
Yeah.
with every intention to work out because I was going to do it. I was not going to be fat anymore. And I ended up sitting at a Bill Miller on San Pedro drinking a coffee. And it was lovely. And I watched the people. And I'm so glad you brought this up because I had such a peaceful vibe in that Bill Miller. And I was restored. My spirit was renewed, refreshed, and
Amen.
restored because the people were chit-chatting with each other inside the Bill Miller. With all the stuff you see on the news, you can go in this town to a restaurant like Bill Miller, sit in that pleasant space they have, and people are friendly and they're talking with each other. I don't know if they do that in every city.
Do you go up to everybody and say, I'm Shannon, Roberta,
I
San
could have
Antonio?
easily, I could have easily joined any of those conversations that were going on around me. That was the vibe, and it would not have been weird. I don't know if you can do that in other cities, but that's us, and I pray we never lose that small town feeling. We're getting so big. Everybody's from somewhere else, it seems.
Yeah, I worry about somebody that's going to cause a confrontation. Like, don't come up to me when I'm eating my taco.
Well, you'll get the vibe, though. I mean, you'll sense it. I don't really believe you that you have low EI, emotional intelligence. I really don't believe you, because I know you would sense that. If it was...
that's how I perceive that everybody is.
Really?
Is like, don't talk to me.
Do you have good
I think I'm kind of in the middle here, honestly. But I do enjoy, that small talk whenever you're ordering stuff and, the cashier goes, hey, how's your day going? What are you up to? I like it, but I think that's my limit. I'm kind of like in the middle between like introvert and extrovert. So if someone were to walk up to me and just say, hi, how are you doing? And I'm eating my
Shannon.
taco,
I'm the most randomly friendliest person, and I'm going to chit-chat with you.
I would definitely say hi to Shannon, of course. But I don't know. That would be it. Like, hi, I'm good. And I like to enjoy my taco.
They were older people. They were all at least over 50. And I know enough to know that I don't know about the younger generation, so I'm a lot more cautious. I have offended the younger generation before, because I think they even date on text message. Like, you have to send. So I know that I don't have the proper skills to. So I have a healthy sense of caution.
Yeah, you have to message them beforehand. May I approach your table?
Yes, yeah, because I've actually freaked a guy out one time, and I was just being friendly, and I don't mean anything bad. I mean, in my generation, we talked to people. We talked, and when I passed by, he was like, stalker much? He said,
whoa.
He said, yeah. So I learned that, yeah. You think you're being friendly, but with some people,
and then
you
that
have to...
cuts you down, and you're afraid to talk to anybody else.
Well, a normal person might feel like that, but I wasn't. I just put it in my bookshelf of emotional intelligence reference.
Okay.
And said, just be more cautious with,
Well, I learned from Jerry Seinfeld's show, Seinfeld. Remember his uncle, Leo?
Yeah.
Jerry confronted him because he saw Uncle Leo steal a book at the bookstore.
Right.
And Uncle Leo said, you saw me at the bookstore?
And you didn't say hi?
And you didn't say hello? You can always say hello. And so I will say hello to anybody.
Yeah.
And Chris gets a little nervous when I do that, because then she says, why are you doing that? Who is that? Who are you talking to?
Is she from New Mexico too?
Yeah. I said, well, you can always say hello.
Yeah.
I learned that from TV.
Yeah. I like that too.
And so that's what I taught my kids when they were nervous on their first day of school. Well, you can always say hello.
Right. That's so cool. I hope you write a book about your journeys and your...
Maybe I will. I don't know if anybody will buy it.
You can title it, You Can Always Say Hello. And just start hello.
That's
That's a great title.
Yeah.
I would read that. I love that.
Lessons from Jerry Seinfeld.
Inspired by.
I feel like we're losing there was a time when if you said Jerry Seinfeld and told that little story, everybody would know. But young people don't
I did watch Seinfeld. See, again, I'm in the middle, but I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm missing a lot.
Well, I have a friend that grew up in New York, and she said she did not watch that show. So maybe,
and she's our age?
Maybe that's a New York kind of thing. Like, that's not how we live.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe.
That's how I was with Breaking Bad.
Oh, right.
That's not how I live. I was in New Mexico, but I didn't do that.
Yeah. But you can watch it just for fun.
Yeah.
I heard Walter is the I guess the lead
Right,
cast.
he's the science teacher that starts cooking meth.
Exactly. Well, his house is actually right now everyone's like visiting it, but it's actually a real person's house.
Yeah.
So
In Albuquerque.
the real person he has in Albuquerque is just like standing outside so that people don't take pictures of the house.
Yeah. They have
But that would be really annoying,
Excuse me.
I think.
They have a
Yeah.
Breaking Bad museum in Albuquerque.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's not like the Smithsonian. It's not professionally done, really. It's just like some entrepreneur that wanted to sell a bunch of Breaking Bad merchandise. And it's kind of like a museum. If you go to Albuquerque, just check it out.
But the TV show does. Do you think it portrays like a good image of like how New Mexico is?
No. But it was, it was awful during that time. People's kids and friends and parents, that drug destroyed many lives. And so these characters that are trying to make money, there's an exponential effect to the number of lives that are destroyed by one drug addict.
Right.
So I was glad to leave New Mexico so that my kids would have a smaller chance of getting sucked into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awful. Horrible.
Interesting.
Yeah. I pray for people that have to go through that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really deep. But then, I'm sorry, my brain went, oh, okay, so come to San Antonio.
Well, I know that there's drugs here, but I don't know. I guess my kids got through okay with that.
Yeah, praise God. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we got some problems here. But you can walk into a Bill Miller and start up a conversation with Juanita.
And have your coffee. And
Yeah.
And
So
do it
what other Instagram escapades are you up to?
Oh, well, I did one for the, I'm trying to get the Through Project on people's radar.
That's for foster children.
Right, yeah. So
Yeah, you were all dressed up in that video.
oh yeah, you think so? Mm-hmm. I had a colorful shirt on. You know, my hairdresser called, I felt really, really self-conscious, like I didn't look good. I always feel that way. And my hairdresser called me personally and said, "What did you do to your hair? It looks beautiful." And I said, "I just did it myself with a curling iron." If he's to be believed, my hair looked really good.
I remember that. It did. It was different.
Unless he's lying to me.
Yeah.
But
And you changed the color recently.
I can't keep track of it, and it's on my head. I don't know.
When I met you, you didn't have that color, actually.
That's my next video that I need to put out on Instagram. Advice for young people: when you start to go gray, just leave it. It'll be fine. Get some purple shampoo. Don't go on this bleaching crazy journey.
Go with respect, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Take the high road. It'll be
Well,
fine.
One time, my wife, Chris, dyed her hair dark brown.
Uh-huh.
And everybody at church kept asking me who was sitting with me at church. Like,
Oh.
am I bringing my mistress to church?
Right.
And I said, no, that's Chris. And they said, oh, I couldn't tell.
We're really entertaining Mark today.
Right.
Well, we're going to have to end this segment, but I wanted everybody to tune in on Saturdays at 11 o'clock in the morning. If you like this content, we usually talk about the law. We're going to be talking about immigration on Saturday. So anything you want to say before we end this segment?
No,
About your dog or your hair?
Donuts.
Donuts. No, I think we cover everything.
All the important topics.
Yes.
Right.
I'm looking forward to this discussion. And yeah, it'll be interesting.
Awesome. Well, that's it for right now. Tune in on Saturdays at 11 o'clock in the morning, podcasts, Facebook Live, or YouTube. Also, find Shannon Roberta San Antonio on Instagram, and you can watch videos about the Mr. Rogers of San Antonio.
Be there, be square.
Talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.